Hello, all, and welcome to this Friday evening's beer review. It's pretty late for my Friday evening beer review. I still have a whole stack of YouTube videos to watch and everything. I don't really feel like watching. I'm losing all my taste for social media. But yeah, as you know, I have a couple of surprise quick reviews I'm going to be uploading later that I recorded yesterday. Things that I don't usually review because um, they are not things I easily get. But yeah, you'll get to see those reviews in maybe a week or two. But this review is also something that you're not going to be able to get. And this is not me flexing. This is me being actually kind of sad because I don't like that you're not able to get it anymore. I still want it around. And as you might have recalled, when I did my Anchor Brewing retrospective, I cracked open one of my leftover bottles of 2022's Our Special Ale, which is of course, their holiday winter warmer. And I had, see here, 9 of these saved up. This is number 8, so there's an entire sixer in there. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with it. I'm just thinking about taking it to party at Christmas, but at the same time, um, I also want to kind of conserve it. Though at 7.2, this is not one of those ones that you can just age for years on end. I tried that with like the Bigfoot barley wine, which is a bit more hefty than this, and even after about the 5-year mark, it was starting to fade off quite a good deal. Granted, some of that might be because I have less than ideal aging conditions. You shouldn't be storing it in the refrigerator, but in between storing it inside of a hot cabinet or, because I live in Hawaii, the inside of the cabinet is still going to be around 80 degrees during summer. And inside a refrigerator, I'm going to go with inside of the refrigerator. I don't know any better. Maybe somebody can tell me what is a better option. Is storing a little too hot less bad, or storing way too cold less bad? And that'll help me in my future endeavors, I guess. Now, I wasn't my original review of this. I wasn't overly impressed as I was with some previous years' renditions of it, but this is the last year, and things were obviously kind of falling apart at the brewery at the time in between management and the actual workers, which of course led to the shuttering of the brewery by Sapporo USA. And at this point, it's still in limbo. So like the employees union as well as a bunch of other people worked up enough seed money that they can actually go and start considering further options, which mostly includes getting more money. So Anchor, with the size that it is and with the holdings that it has, is it has like it's a very expensive brewery, and part of that is because it sits on some of the most expensive real estate in the United States. It's in historic part of San Francisco, very desirable area, and they don't want to leave that brewery. They've been at that brewery for like decades. So um, honestly, though, I mean, if I care more about the continuity of the beers. I feel like it would be okay if they're in the greater Bay Area, So like if you go all the way out, way past Silicon Valley, way past Napa Valley, and you're still kind of in the Bay Area, or maybe move a little bit up or down the coast. I don't know, but yeah. So that's where they're at. They're probably going to be at that for a while. And yeah, we're left with this. And I wasn't too happy with how well it was aging when I did the Anchor retrospective, but we'll see. Bottles can be different sometimes. So this is 7.2 ABV. And yeah, Okay, let's go and read this if I can get my eyes to focus. It's been a very rough day. I had to go and drive with my eyes against the sun setting, so my eyes are just completely blasted right now. You know, all that sunlight straight into my retinas because I don't really have tinting, and my sunblock thing is like it fell off a while ago. I don't know where I put it, for one. And even if I put it down, the sun was low enough that it was even below that. So yeah, let's go and read this verbiage here. This is the 48th, our special ale from the brewers at Anchor. This ale, made with natural flavors, features a new recipe and tree every year. But the intent with which we offer it is the same: joy and celebration of the newness of life. Trees symbolize the winter solstice when the earth and the seasons appear born anew. Mary Ellen Pleasant planted blue gum trees in front of her San Francisco home in the 1800s. The home is long gone, but her landmark trees remain, a living tribute to the mother of civil rights in California. So it's a blue gum tree. Blue gum trees, I believe, are from Australia. Yeah, and let's just go and pour this out now, shall we? Been yammering on long enough. Pouring it into this glass because, I don't know, I just realized I should have put... I wasn't expecting it to still... Okay, so when I did the other one, I had some serious trouble getting head out of it. This one, it seems like almost the original, more than 3 fingers here. I did give it a vigorous pour because I was expecting less head. Okay, so still sort of kind of an amber ruby mix, very cloudy where the light passes through. Of course, with a beige to light brown head, very thick, somewhat unexpected. I'm hoping maybe this one preserved better for whatever reason. Yeah, wow. Yeah, it's a bit muted, but that's more because it's cold rather than aging. So yeah, you still kind of have that sort of eucalyptusy almost notes to it. Coffee, carob, herbaceous notes. Even the hopping is intact. Interestingly, the head is receding in a manner so like it's maintaining the center part of the head, but it's kind of receding down the sides. Yeah, so cocoa, carob, kind of woody, herbaceous, even yeah, eucalyptus notes, and I don't mean like that sort of camphory slash mentholy note that eucalyptus have. More like just the general smell of the tree in general. Like if you ever buy a eucalyptus tree and you smell it, kind of like that. But when you crush the leaves, you definitely get that sort of menthol camphor. That's not what I'm talking about here. Yeah, definitely a lot more cocoa notes than my original review sensed. But yeah, okay, onto the palate now, shall we? Oddly enough, kind of thin on the palate. I'm not sure why. So the previous one that I had during the retrospective was also thin on the palate. This one is much more intense in flavor. Sort of even level of hop bitterness throughout. And it's yeah, yeah, the bitterness lasts until a long finish. The bitterness is a little bit astringent though. Doesn't really have any taste dimension to it. Like most of the finer details have dropped off and just left with a straight, somewhat astringent bitterness throughout. Probably because the body seems fairly thin as well. It's kind of sort of lending um, to that astringency. Almost like a tea. When you have oversteeped tea note, that's what the long finish is like on your palate. Very drying, that sort of astringency. And interestingly, also kind of like oversteeped tea flavors on the palate as well. So I guess I should say tea-like notes, as well as carob. Interestingly, the top note is more expressive than the actual palate notes. There's kind of a thin, bittersweet chocolate note throughout as well. A little bit obscured by that hot bitterness. So yeah, this one has preserved a lot more of the flavor. And if I notice, there's not really floaties in this one either. Just some precipitate. The other one that I opened had floaties. It really kind of goes to show you, because it was from the same sixer, that one. So I would assume that it was all bottled at the same time and came from the same vat. So yeah. So again, it hasn't gained complexity. I find it's even though this one is better preserved, um, the decline in the body has really impacted it. You know, just with how out of whack it's thrown the rest of the flavor notes. You know, the flavor notes there have remained. It's almost like I wish there was just a bit more residual sugars in the original beer, um, to keep it hefty. It would be supporting those flavors still, and you know, uh, I mean, it's still drinkable by far, still very drinkable. But I don't think the aging has, even with this better preserved bottle, I don't think the aging has really improved it all that much, um, or changed it in a interesting or positive manner is probably a better way of putting it. Yeah. So, will we see kind of a sour note emerging too as it warms up? Just very slight in the finish there. So yeah, um, no, Thanksgiving is past, so happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year. Let's see here. Yeah, So it was literally a year ago when I originally reviewed this. So it's good to go and check in at the exact 1 year mark for this beer and see how it's gone. And the answer is, well, it didn't die, but it's not great in the long run either. It didn't smooth off rough edges, but that's generally the case. You know, something that's not ideal drank immediately is not going to be ideal aging. Um, that said, I'm holding it by the standard of Anchor now, not the general standard. This is still a great beer. I'm going to finish this. I'm going to continue aging the rest of those beers. The sixer that is in my refrigerator. And that, folks, is your beer review for this Friday evening. Cheers.